Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day where in Shelton, Washington, where I live, the air quality is only fair, and it is raining, and it's foggy outside, so thumbs up for that. I woke up this morning and immediately started wheezing. Even with my sleep apnea mask on and the air filter that it has. So yay, I've been hacking and wheezing and coughing because of the air quality. Joy. Such is life. But at least I slept, and that's a good thing. I have had a lot of shoulder pain just because I don't move when I sleep, and so things have to really hurt to wake me up fully. And by then, of course, it really hurts. Thumbs up for that. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, it'd be very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel, it'd be very awesome. You could leave me a comment, any comment even for the algorithm. Well, that would be double plus good. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are in fact literally beautiful and literally awesome. Without their help, I and my pets would be hosed like Christmas monkeys. Trust me, that is not a good way to be hosed. No one wants to be hosed like a Christmas monkey. Not even a Christmas monkey. If you would like to help me out and you help to keep me and my pet, just the one at the moment, surviving, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, along with a PayPal for donations, an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like pet food on it, and a post office box where I will open up on camera anything that anybody sends me, if anybody ever sends me anything. Yay, thumbs up. Front loading of videos over. My eye is so dry. I feel very dry this morning as well. I have hydration problems. One of the things that happens, I drink a lot of caffeinated stuff, and I take caffeine capsules, and caffeine is a diuretic, and I already have hydration issues. I don't drink enough as I should, and then of course the caffeine on top of it, I have very dry skin and dry everything, so yay. And then of course with cannabis use, you get dry mouth and dry eyes, and I have to use cannabis for pain control, otherwise I would be wheelchair bound at best, bed bound most likely. Thumbs up for that. But still, it is a brand new day, and yesterday was indeed a day. And in fact, I had fallen asleep issues for a few hours. It is so fun falling asleep in this chair with my head falling forward and straining the muscles in my neck. And then when I when I stop breathing, which thankfully doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough that puts a strain on your heart and your brain. When I fall asleep and don't breathe for long enough periods, it is hard to make my brain work when I wake back up, and my fingers and my hands and my feet just tingle, and it sounds like a bell just went bong inside of my head. It's terrible. So that's always fun. But at least I did some recording of the game Dungeon Blitz. There are 3 games in the series, and this is number 2, not number 1. I already did like Castle Blood or Blood Castle, the first one, and this is like Catacomb of Chaos, something like that. And it's fun. It's been enjoyable so far, and I've been drawing out the map and doing the stuff. I just need to edit that for today, and then it's cool. Very, very good. I am hoping to be playing D100 Dungeon soon, as well as I want to continue with the overworld exploration in Note Quest, because oh boy, my one character is in not very good shape. Note Quest is deadly. It is a very, very deadly game. Even though it's simple, it is deadly. And then of course I want to continue doing 4 Against Dungeon using the Tales of the Adventurers Guild stuff where they add troop play and solo play. And by solo play, you don't have to take 4 characters in. You can take in 3 or 2 or just 1. And all sorts of things like that. So, and I especially want to bring that troll in there. I'm looking forward to using the stupidity chart. Thumbs up. But still, let me take a look on my list and see if there's anything else that happened in my life, because I'm out of ADHD meds as well. And so my brain is not functioning well. It never does, but it's functioning even less well than normal because I'm just out of meds. Once again, cold turkeyed. So thumbs up. I reordered, should be showing up in the mail soon, so here's hoping. But it's hard to remember anything and be even slightly coherent. But, in fact, I even have that here. Have I always had the motivation / cognition issues? Because I feel horrible motivation problems periodically, along with cognition issues. Harder to think. And I don't know if I've always had these problems and I'm only now more awake and treated it enough that I can see it more clearly, or if it's something new. Because if it's something new, well, that's one of the indicators of something going wrong in your body. If you have altered cognition, that's an indicator something ain't working right. So I am hoping it's just something that I am becoming more aware of. Because I remember a few years back, I would wake up and I would start this recording 7 o'clock sharp. Today it was 8:15 and I was lucky that I was even able to get going then. So, but then it's also I am more aware of the issues in my life. And now that my mind and subconscious are all on the level going, oh, and understanding these things, I have altered the way I think about my life and the world, because going at it the way I had before, I would always be beating my head bloody against a wall that's never going to move. So I have mentally stopped beating my head against that wall. It could be that the altered motivation and cognition is my mind and such just relaxing, because we don't have to try and beat our way through the wall with our head anymore. We can relax now. So I don't know. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I've stopped watching reaction channels. I've been unsubscribing from them. I just feel no more desire to watch any, because my subconscious made the decision that you're not going to do this anymore. And why stay subscribed if I'm not going to watch them anymore? Not a conscious decision. But let's see if I can remember where I was going with that. No, of course not. It had something to do with... I love ADHD. I love being untreated for it. I love going cold turkey off of my... It's Wellbutrin, the extended release stuff, 150 milligrams. Out. All gone. So I am suffering from just going cold turkey off of a depression medication that also has ADHD help. So yeah, doing great. Oh yeah, it's the whole motivation thing I was talking about, and then cognition. Can't remember why and how it tied into reaction stuff, so I'm very sorry, but thumbs up. So the last thing I want to mention about the stuff that happened in just regular life is there is a channel on YouTube where the guy or gal or whomever does music remixes. And they are really good, but they are bizarre. And this one was a remix of Eminem's Rap God mixed with dueling banjos. You know, that da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And then the song plays, the dueling banjos. And the person who did this went through word by word and altered their pitch and speed so that it fit the dueling banjos. So when he's rapping the stuff out, it's to the dueling banjos stuff with appropriate rises and falls to each word. It must have taken forever to do this, because he would have had to, she, English defaults to he, and I hate that. But they would have had to go through and alter literally every single word to make it fit. Holy smokes, it was good. I had a huge grin on my face. It was awesome. If you look up there, I ruined it. You will, well, you may be disappointed, but if you have that kind of sense of humor, you will love it. It is awesome. But past that, taking a look on my list, all that there really is left is a little bit of talk about the Razor's Edge inside, outside, and the cryptid setting. Maybe a little about Marbden and Undermarb. I am not sure. I can barely remember what I was thinking about last night, and I was thinking about a lot during my entire walk to Walmart and back. In fact, I even had to purchase some stuff inside Walmart, and I struggled to continue thinking properly of the topics. And I remember the struggle and being able to remember them so I could think about them on the way home. And I can't remember what they were now. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is I speak about how the Razor's Edge has a 10,000 kilometer radius. You go from the center 10,000 kilometers out, but at about 7,000 kilometers or so, there is a breakdown of actual reality, because the way the Razor's Edge is formed is using static electricity and a creative discharge that was also destructive, that formed this transitory space between two universes. It breaks down at the outer edges. But the most important part is from the center, it is a 10,000 kilometer sphere. And yet I have spoken of how there are places like Marbden and Undermarb, and how it is a literal perpetual dungeon that will go on for literally forever. And I've spoken of there are some layers that hold up to like 800 billion people on them. And the layer is large enough to not only house them, but have all the support stuff to keep the place thriving. How could just a 10,000 kilometer layer radius, or I guess it would be 20,000 kilometer circumference, how could that support an 800 billion people on it thing? That's good English, isn't it? The thing is, I have mentioned so much before that there is so much more there. Out here, for every square kilometer, there is 1 square kilometer of stuff. On the inside, when you go all the way through the transitory space of the Razor's Edge to that conjoined, separate but still sister universe of the inside, there is about 1,000 square kilometers per square kilometer. Even though you're inside of just a square kilometer, there is so much more there that there is 1,000 square kilometers worth of junk squashed into that 1,000 kilometers. Well, 1 kilometer. So there's a lot more there, but the Razor's Edge is formed of such material and in such a place that there is effectively 1 million square kilometers of there for every square meter. It is a lot of there. And when you're often disconnected from a layer, so you're drifting with your own personal layer, that personal layer can drift around very, very far. Layers can become essentially gigantic, but they still fit inside of that smaller area of the 10,000 kilometer radius, because there's just so much more there. It's like 1 million square kilometers of cloth folded up and wadded and then stuck into that square meter. It's all there, just not all at the same time to your perception. That is why if you're on the layer of Apple Rock, you aren't bombarded with 1 million other things. You are all in roughly the same space, but they're all different layers that are separated. And of course, the Apple Rock layer is one of those few places that it is stable enough that it is almost like the outside, and that you travel 1 kilometer and you traverse 1 kilometer. Just like out here. Most layers aren't like that. And most layers aren't as happy and friendly, wherein when you come from the inside on the Apple Rock layer, you are within 500 kilometers of the center. And then 500 kilometers to the other side of the center is the exit to the inside. Most places that have any connection to the inside or the outside, it is nowhere near that pleasant or fun. You're usually out near the edges where things are starting to break down. Apple Rock layer is held together by the will of the kaiju, and even though each individual town and settlement cannot be traveled to via just walking, they are all separated by undifferentiated space. They are all attuned to and held to the same layer by the will of the kaiju. Other layers aren't like that. If a town is separated from another, it drifts. So it is gone from that layer. Not so with the Apple Rock layer. And in the future, when the Crimson Kingdom rolls out their boosters of a higher quality all across the Razor's Edge, it will eventually become stabilized from side to side to the point where you could put on a backpack and walk from one side to the other. You can still always use the glamours to travel, but you could walk, whereas right now, if you walk outside of any form of settlement, whether it is a few hundred meters or a few kilometers, you are eventually going to be drifting away from the layer on your own personal layer, still attuned to Apple Rock, but it's your own personal layer being formed of just different things as you go. Because undifferentiated space, and you have about 1,500 meter circle around you with you in the center. That is your personal layer. As you travel, the observation effect, I can't speak English sometimes, solidifies and brings into form your own personal layer as you travel. With persistence, it lasts for an hour after you leave. So you leave a trail of a layer behind you that is slowly fading back into undifferentiated space. Now, in some cases, that means that it does just literally fade back into gray chaos. But in other places, it's just these micro layers drift off to connect to other places. So there's that. But onto the cryptid stuff real quick. One of the things that they're doing, well, I've spoken how there is the larger companies that are trying to sell things and the smaller companies. Surprisingly, it is the larger companies that are usually more safest and lowest common denominator that are actually being more creative, because they don't really know what the cryptids want. And so they're throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. And because of that, there are some wildly creative ideas. Smaller, more ethical companies like Uncle Bonbons, they make a very small product line, and it's all very safe because they go out and talk to cryptids, do taste testing, find out what they want, try to make a product to fill that need, and when they have, then they release it. They aren't being very creative in any of their endeavors, but they don't need to be. They're a very niche product in that fashion. Whereas the larger companies are making things like Hemo-Cola, which is just a cola that has human blood plasma sugar sweetening it. They're also doing things like, when human beings take caffeine, you are not supposed to take more than 400 milligrams of caffeine in a day. I sometimes take up to a full milligram, or no, a full gram of it. Don't do that. But they put a full gram per bottle. So that's like 4 times as much as you should have in a day per bottle, because the systems of cryptids aren't really affected by this stuff really strongly. So they pump this stuff full. And it kind of works. The cryptids like Hemo-Cola. Are they getting hooked on the caffeine? Hard to say. We'll have to keep thinking about that, won't we? And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. It's never much anymore, but for anybody that does, thank you so very much. It is appreciated. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count American Sign Language, well, Well, so we have A for Eric. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. Jesse Koskinen, always good to see you in the comments. They do some very, very good jobs on these mods, I tell you. Then we have Shinra. Thank you very, very much. And I'm going to be, as soon as I can afford another pair of headphones, just cheap ass junk from Walmart, I'm going to start mixing the audio to that. Then there is Chris. Thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And it's Maori _ thank you very, very much. Greatly appreciated. And that is it. That is it. Thank you very, very much. All 5 people who commented on my 3 videos yesterday in the past 24 hours. It is appreciated. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with a very small amount of people for a very short period of time. But it is appreciated. Thumbs up and thank you. And of course, if you've watched this far, thank you so much. Nobody forces you to. You have done so of your own volition, and that is appreciated as well. I'm going to try and get some stuff done today, but the way it's raining and the way that rain and negative ions and such make me feel, and the lack of sleep that I've had of late, I'm probably not going to get much done today. If that happens with you, don't beat yourself up. It isn't going to change anything. You're just going to be beating yourself up out of habit. And of course, with your situation and location and things going on, just please be smart for what's happening. If people are getting sick, wear a mask. If people are crashing cars, don't go there. If you hear the mournful howl of a bus horn late at night where you're out walking, well, just be prepared to get your body smeared all over the landscape in a very horrific and disgusting fashion. It should be quick, but that bus with your name on it is on its way. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.